Imitation of Christ, a very beautiful book. Swami Vivekananda loved it. It was written by a medieval Christian monk, Thomas à Kempis. There, this very thing is talked about. How do I find peace? The writer conceives of Christ talking to the disciple. So this is like he imagines this. So the disciple asks Christ, how do I get peace? Peace. And Christ says to the disciple, says, if you want peace, my child, then do these 4 things. Now compare these 4 with what you just said. The aggressive, dynamic, corporate ladder climbing, no time kind of tense, high achiever, A-type personality. What does Christ say? 4 things. And you will be shocked. He says, if you want peace, 4 things. 1, always try to have less rather than more. 50% of Manhattan finished here. 180 degrees opposite of what you're trying to do. Remember Christ's condition. If you want peace, he says, I'm going to hold on to that. If you want more rather than less, then you will not get peace. You will get everything else. If you want peace, always seek, make an effort, work hard to have less rather than more. Now you're seeing many books about the simple life coming out. Those books themselves, you will have no space for them, so much. First. Second one is even more difficult. Always seek to be last rather than first. Even more difficult. What do parents teach their children? What do you mean? My son won't get into an Ivy League college? Think about it, what it means. The kind of mentality there. Not that he's trying his hard to be a loser. That's the first thing that a person in Manhattan will try to say. Oh, you want to be a loser? No. One thing which you want, say, suppose you want God realization. There, no compromise. In everything else, you go ahead. I'm not competing against you. Be last rather than first. This is just a play on the biblical assurance. Christ says, the last shall be first. Then the third one is even more difficult. If you want peace, even more difficult than this. Always seek to do the will of another rather than your own. Always seek to do the will of another rather than your own. 50% of divorce cases will be solved here itself. They will not end in divorce. The problem will be solved. Let your will be done. Think about it, why not? In most cases, it's a minor difference of opinion, a difference of taste. Always seek to do the will of another rather than your own. If you want peace. And the last one is most important. In all things, learn to accept the will of God. Everything is exactly as God wants it to be, even the most horrible things. To learn to accept that. Do your duty. If you see suffering, if you see problems, do what you have to do. But know that, don't fight against reality. 4 things if you want peace. We do exactly the opposite. More rather than less, no peace. First rather than last. Let alone last, not even second, always first. How many people can be first? One. Yeah, say that's great. 1. Not great. They say, no, if you win the rat race, you're still a rat. Just a bigger rat than the others. And then the third one, my will, not yours. Immediately no peace. That's the root to almost all the quarrels we have in this world. And the fourth one, acceptance of the will of God. That is called dhiraha, patience, titiksha, forbearance, spiritual forbearance. On purpose I spent a little time on this. What will be the result of all of this? Jesus says in the Imitation of Christ, you will get peace. Krishna says, you will get enlightenment. You will get freedom, moksha, God realization if you do this. How will you do it? He's not asking you to go and fight the enemy with no weapons at all. He's arming you with the weapons of spiritual knowledge, spiritual practice. Then asking you to practice patience in the face of the ups and downs of life. Try it, a little bit you'll try, you will gain in strength, confidence and peace of mind. A little bit you try. God will continuously give you opportunities, don't worry. Yeah. Starting right now, the moment you step out, He will give you continuously small and large opportunities. If not spiritual, don't take it in this spirit, then stress, anxiety, grumbling. Swami Ranganathanji used to tell us, if you are a monk, one thing you give up, no grumbling. Don't grumble at anything. Is holding grudges and grumbling, absolutely not. Grumbling, stress, anxiety, annoyance, irritation. This is life. Fear, anxiety, terror. What's going to happen? Nothing much will happen, but terror. And if you take it spiritually, the same problems will remain. They become the cross. Jesus Christ had a cross. We also will get a cross. Suffering. So who wants to be on a cross? You are there anyway. You have been fixed upon it. Recognize it as a cross. Spiritual progress, peace of mind, joy, elevation, freedom. Don't recognize it. Struggle, endless birth and death.